Hey, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Parenting Puzzle Podcast with the incredible Dr. Owen. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Jake. How are you?
I'm doing well. I missed you. It's been a little while since we recorded one, so I'm happy. I was excited when we got this together and decided to record something because I love the question we have today. And I just wanted to mention that I think somebody that I know and is a good friend of mine might be having an anniversary coming up.
It's me. I was like, who is this? It's me. Yes, yes. Thank you. We're celebrating an anniversary this weekend, and we've tried to institute. You know how it is to have young kids. It's hard to have time alone. It's hard to have time away. So we've tried to institute a plan where each year for our anniversary, we try to go away for just a couple days, even if it's just one overnight, just to have a little together time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more.
I think it's really helpful. It also ends up being take stock of your lifetime for me. I don't know why. Maybe because we always drive a few hours, so I'm never have that quiet time in the car with just my spouse. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
It's definitely a good time to think. Because with young kids like we both have, I'm sure like you're in the same way. Like there's usually a lot of noise that could be like very overstimulating. I said that weird. Very loud and just it's hard to collect like your thoughts, right?
It is, and even if they're being quiet, you know, I have a couple of perceptive kids, one very perceptive kid, and so I really want to be mindful of what I'm saying because
Yeah.
they're hearing it, and so any kind of tone of uncertainty or whatever, I don't want to have them kind of get the wrong impression because they're not really understanding what I'm saying the way my husband is, and so doing it in the car when it's just the two of us is a really good time. So you can bet I'm going to be doing some taking stock of my life this weekend. Maybe I'll come back with some really good insights.
Also, you probably will. Well, look, happy anniversary. I hope you have a wonderful time and a safe trip, and it's just relaxing. And it is true. Like when you're married with kids, you really have to be intentional with like the spouse and trying to find time with the spouse, babysitters, everything. And it's super important. Because that's the relationships that's going to be around the longest. It's going to be around the most amount of time. So I'm very excited about this format today. So we've done multiple different types of podcasts. And also, just need to say this, can everybody please listen to the podcast so Dr. D can continue to be convinced after her soul searching that she should do this podcast. All right. Please listen. All right. I don't know how I'm still convincing her to do this a year in, but we're making it. Please watch it. Okay. But we've done back to the scheduled programming, but we've done multiple different types of formats, right? We've had people come on that have a specialty in something like parenting or mental health and have talks like that. We've had other podcast hosts come on. We've had normal parents like me and Dr. D, which she's not a normal parent. She's a superstar. But other parents come in and just ask a question on the podcast. And we're excited to offer a different opportunity for parents to have their voices heard and their questions answered on the Parenting Puzzle podcast. So what we're doing now is we want to offer up the option, if anybody would like to pose a question through email or reaching out to us on social media. And if we like the question, we can address it on the podcast, right? And then maybe for those people, because I even still get a little nervous before we record the podcast. So we've been doing this for a while. And for people that maybe are just not comfortable with something like this, you can just reach out to one of us, give us the question, and maybe we'll answer it on the podcast. So I just think opening that up to our audience and for parents who might have a question, it's a much more non-intimidating option.
Yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, I'm going to put on my glasses because I can't really read well without them. And I'm going to, read the question and then give a little color to the situation and talk about it. And, I'd love to hear your insights, obviously, of course, too, Jake. So basically the question is about when you has a very strong preference for one parent. So this is an intact family in this case, with two parents, both working. And this parent said, sometimes when they do bedtimes, the child will kick and scream and yell. In this case, it's a toddler, kick and scream and yell for the other parent. Tell this parent to get out of there. Tell this parent to go back to work if it's in the morning, kind of thing. And it's been going on for several months. And so, this parent is trying to figure out, is there anything else that they can do within their family, both parents perhaps, that could possibly change the situation a little bit so it doesn't feel, this parenting preference doesn't feel so strong. So I thought this was a really good question, because I hear this often from parents that there is, and at different stages and different ages, it could be for one parent and for another. It can happen when one parent is there primarily the time and become the favorite, or the one who's not there as much and they become the favorite. But that kind of child favoritism of one parent can be really tough to handle. That's not a great setup.
No, I think it's a great question. And I think there's a lot of people in the audience that have dealt with similar things. Like for our 3-year-old, like currently right now, we deal with something pretty similar. And it's not every night, but like when I try to put him to bed and Sarah doesn't, he's like, he could get very upset about that because he wants his mom to put him to bed. And he'll be like, Dad, get out, go get mom, or leave. And it's hard not to take that. And I'm going to say personally, I guess that's the word, right, Dr. D? Yeah. It's hard not to take that personally. Like, oh man, this kid doesn't like me very much.
Yeah. Or it's hard, even if you don't take it personally, it's hard not to feel a sense of rejection when kids do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so my answer, I'm really glad you expanded on that, Jake, because my answer is 2 parts. So one of the parts is sort of like what you can do as the parent to take care of yourself. And the other part is there anything you can do in terms of that circumstance? So the best advice that I could give to parents are to recognize that it probably isn't something personal about you. And one way you can notice that is that, are there other times where your child shows preference for you, or other circumstances where your child shows preference for you? Because we all kind of like give off a vibe during different times. So for example, if one parent tends to be a little bit more rushed at bedtime, I'm just going to use bedtime because that was the example the parent gave. If one parent is a little bit more rushed at bedtime because maybe they have to do something afterwards, or if one parent just doesn't like doing the long cuddle and the other parent does, for the child is going to become the preferred parent. And so just recognize there's nothing wrong with you not liking to do the cuddle, and I'm not going to tell you you have to lay down with your kid for 10 minutes the way your other parent does if you don't like doing it. I think the better choice is recognizing that we all have these moments in which we kind of shine and maybe aren't the same best fit for our kids. And then in those moments when we're not the best fit, give yourself permission to exit,
Yes.
right? So being able to say, that's okay. It's okay that my child likes doing bedtime with this parent. That parent does it in a way that maybe feels more enjoyable to my toddler or my child. And so that doesn't mean don't say goodnight to your child. That doesn't mean don't, have that little moment at the end of the day. But it's also okay if that moment is, a hug before they go up for bed and all that. And it doesn't have to be that right before sleep kind of thing, right? Showing love, showing care in a way that you have like the time and the energy to really show up and be present. It's the quality. And I've talked before about quality versus quantity, and prioritizing the quality. They're going to be better off and you're going to be better off. And continuing to remind yourself that it's okay to not be preferred. And I would even say it's okay to not be perfect. Actually, we laugh in our family because literally preferences are seasonal. So when it's beach season, my husband is a preferred parent. He's better in the ocean. He's bigger. He's better in the ocean. He's more fun in the ocean. He is the preferred parent. I'm happy to go in the ocean, but no one wants mommy. No one wants mommy at the beach. Mommy is like not, they want mommy to like bring them the drinks and the snacks and the, beach toys, but no one, he is the preferred parent. He's the preferred parent in the pool. Like he's more fun. He is. He could do more stuff, right? And so we always laugh when the weather warms up. It's like, your time of year is coming around, and your time is coming, right? And so, and so, kind of recognizing that can also be the case with kids. Toddler years, one parent could be preferred. Then, elementary school years, a different parent could be preferred. Or teen years, you're connecting with your child. You're going to keep connecting with your child in different ways. And some of your strengths are going to shine at those different times in parenting. And so also just trying to be kind, compassionate, and patient with yourself. And also around bedtime. And if your kid's messing around and you're like, I have 7 things to go do and I don't have patience for it, you're probably not going to be the preferred bedtime parent, and that's okay. So on the nights when you have to do it, and the nights when you don't, just be okay with not doing it. That's the other pieces. Like everyone is going to enjoy that, and those things that you are particularly good at, make sure that you work with your co-parents on being able to do those, right? So if you happen to be really good at doing homework with kids, for example, and your other parent is really good at doing bedtime. So you know what? I'm better at doing the homework. Let me do the homework and you do the bedtime. And that way we're using our strengths and we're having more of those positive moments with our
My
kids.
boys want me when it's time to mess around and hearts around. Is when it's playtime. They want the big man. Kind of similar to Jesse.
I mean, it makes sense, right? You could probably do a lot more lifting them up and throwing them around. That kind of stuff it's just more fun for you.
But when it's time for bedtime and other things, and it's interesting too, my 9-year-old is super attached to me, so he wants me for like everything. But then 3-year-old is more attached to Sarah, and he wants Sarah for most things, besides when he wants to get thrown in the air.
Yeah, exactly. And then from like what to do, not just taking care of yourself and kind of working with your spouse on dividing things up. The other thing to be thinking about with kids is, thinking about maybe like reflecting a little bit about what is it about how that other parent does this thing. And so if in fact, it's just not your strong suit or you're not going to do it, that's when you should be patient with yourself. But my phone in to do bedtime and I'm always distracted. My partner leaves their phone and they're just present. Wait a minute. Let me try bedtime without my phone. Let me see what happens when I'm more present. Or let me see if I can, put do not disturb or carve out some time, or, parents who are working and go back to working after bedtime. Like, let me see if I can put something in my calendar that gives me a little extra time that other people aren't expecting me to be available, so that I actually can be present and then shift and be back. Because if you're present and you're connected and you're kind of getting in there with your kid, they might also start to show some equal preference there, right? Because they pick up on so many of our nonverbals. They pick up on so many of our cues and our emotions, whether we're saying them aloud or not. And so in some cases, that's just who you are and who you're going to be. And then in that case, just be you and do what works well for you. But if it's a behavioral thing that you can change or kind of easily reflect on and realize, oh, this is the thing that my kid is preferring of that parent, or this is the thing that my kid doesn't love with me, then you're in the position to make a choice about whether you want to change that thing. And my partner is so much better at this. There's something wrong with me. Like, no, your partner does it differently from you. And if your child is preferring that because that's a better match for them, do you want to make that change for yourself if it feels possible? And so it's always really useful to think of it as a choice, and also give your self permission to say, I don't like doing bedtime. Like, I just don't like it. That's okay. You don't have to. There's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It just makes that not your preferred time of day. maybe you're exhausted by that time and your fuse is this long. That's okay. As if you have another parent who's willing to do it and your child likes having them do it, amazing.
Do that. Yeah.
Take advantage of that. Give yourself permission to have done a lot of other things and let that parent be the preferred parent at that time and let that be their special moment. And that doesn't mean you are going to be putting yourself at being less preferred at other times, which is something that parents will say, but like, if I don't do this and if I don't do that, I'm going to be on the outs. I'm not going to. And the answer is, first of all, this is going to change over the course of their childhood and adolescence. That's just expect that because that's coming. But also, that's actually not the case because we know when it comes to parenting, quality is more important than quantity. And so if you're having good quality interactions with your child, but having fewer interactions, that is going to benefit your relationship and connection with them over having more time with them when you're not showing up as your best self. And listen, we can't always be our best selves, and I know that, and I am not always my best self. I'm very aware of it. But if you know there's a specific circumstance in which it's just not a great fit for you, give yourself permission to not do that thing, and it doesn't make you any less of a
just
parent.
remove yourself from that. It's just not.
Yeah. But give yourself permission. Don't remove yourself like as a punishment. Remove yourself with compassion and be like, hey, this is so cool that my partner at the end of the day is really like chilled out and wants to lay around and read books in the bedroom for 15 minutes, and that works well for both of them.
Lovely.
Like, lovely. Rather than I'm bad, I'm wrong, because parenting guilt is real. You and I, we've talked about it on this show, and I really always want to caution parents around feeling guilt for this. That is, I don't want to invalidate your emotion, but you don't need that emotion. Guilt is an emotion that tells us, pay attention right here. Something is wrong. Something's amiss. This is not that. You can have 9 other friends who love doing bedtime with their kids, and that's just not your thing. That's cool.
And like parenting is a teamwork, right? So like if your partner is doing bedtime, that could be a time for you to do something that refills your tank, so you're ready to go for the next. Because we talk a lot about parenting from a place of lack, right? Because we want our interactions to be quality. And that could be a time to recharge your batteries and do something that's good for you. And then your spouse or partner will have when you're taking a lead with homework or something else, they'll have time to do something that recharges their batteries. Divide and conquer is what I'm getting at, I guess.
For sure.
In my less eloquent way that you say it, but that's what
I think that's a great way to say it. I think that's a great way to say it and a great way to think about it. And just to not think that's wrong or bad. And I realize that, today's topic is specific to families in which there are 2 parents. That was what the question was about. Obviously, that's what we're answering for today. And we just want to honor that if you're single parenting and you don't have the opportunity to teamwork, we recognize that is another level of superheroism, and just like give yourself a pat on the back for doing that.
Yeah. Hey, are you ready for my favorite segment? Let's do it.
So again, thank you for the write-in question. That was really great. It's the first time we've gotten to do this format on the show. So thank you so much to the parent who sent that in. We talked about how there are 2 things to keep in mind when you have a child who shows a strong preference for one parent or the other. So one thing to keep in mind is watching out for the distress that might create for you, the sense of rejection, the feelings of guilt if you're the parent that's the non-preferred parent. This is going to change over the course of their childhood and over the course of their lifetime. And so really trying to recognize that your partner may have a strength at that time of day or for that activity, and that's okay. And if it's not something that is, your strength or you gravitate towards or you want to participate in differently, give yourself permission to not be as equal, not play an equal role. For example, bedtime, which is what we talked about. The other side of it is recognizing that if your partner is doing something that's causing your child to have preference, and it's a behavior or choice that you could change or make a different choice for yourself, be aware of that And if you want to experiment with or play around with making a different choice. So I use the kind of obvious one of if you tend to, have your phone present and be partially distracted versus a partner who's got their phone away and is fully present, play around with leaving your phone out and see if that causes any change. Maybe not just in one shot, but over a few times in terms of the interaction with your child. And just recognizing that, this is going to happen. There are oftentimes lots of non-specific reasons why one parent will get favored. And so just taking a deep, slow breath yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate, and like, it's okay that I'm not the preferred parent at this time. That's the best suggestion.
I love it.
Give, Jake.
I think it was a great topic, a great question. If you're somebody that likes the show, has listened to the show, and maybe you're a little bit uncomfortable with coming on the podcast, obviously we love to have parents come on the podcast and talk to them and build a relationship with them and answer their questions. But also, I'm super excited about this new forum. I'm excited about opening up the opportunity for parents to come on the podcast by just asking a question, right? And you're kind of coming on the podcast, right? Because we're going to address your question. So if that's someone that's interested you, reach out to this lovely lady right here, Dr. D. You can reach out to me, and we'd be more than happy to discuss it on an upcoming podcast. Dr. D, I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
It's going to be awesome. We're doing some pumpkin patch stuff. I love fall season for that. But if you like the podcast, it's my job to keep Dr. D doing this. So like it. Please watch it. We have it on YouTube. We have it on Spotify. We just got it on Apple Music, Amazon Music. Almost anywhere that you can get podcasts, we have it. So please go like it, subscribe, do all the things because we love giving this information to you and providing this science-based tips and tricks because parenting is hard, right? Full stop. And we want to keep getting this information out there. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Dr. D, thank you.
And we hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving us a review. It really helps us out and lets others discover the show.